Hello, everybody. We are just gonna wait a couple more minutes for people to start trickling in, and then we can go ahead and get started. Okay, I think we can go ahead and get started. And we know how webinars work, so people will, hopefully just start to trickle in as we go ahead and start the presentation. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for 1 second so you can see me and I can make a introduction. Can everybody see me?
Yep, we can see you.
Okay, thank you. So welcome. My name is Shanta Peru, and I am VP of Marketing and Product here at Architessa. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day this afternoon to joining our first ever Design Drop webinar, which is a client-facing webinar. So yeah, thank you again. Just wanted to introduce myself and we can go ahead and get started. Oh, sorry. Okay, so again, here we are, Design Drop Early Spring Edition. This is our first time ever doing a client-facing webinar, and we're excited today to share with you a look at some of our latest collections. We have simply one goal today, and that goal is to inspire your creativity. We want to introduce you to some newest collections within our portfolio that hopefully, pardon me, sparks your interests and ideas for upcoming residential and commercial projects that you have. So I'm not sure. We're going to take a quick kind of poll here. Courtney, if you could just plop that into the Q&A, and then we can circle back of how many of you guys are familiar with Architessa and how many of you guys have, used Architessa before as a resource. And for those of you who have not and who are new to Architessa, then I'm just going to do a quick brief introduction. So Architessa, we're a woman-owned and family-operated business who have been serving the tile community for over 40 years. Betty Sullivan, our former CEO, who was CEO from 2001 to 2025, grew this company from, to the national brand that it currently is today. She still remains heavily involved, and she now serves as executive chairwoman. And the company is now run by David Benson, her son, who is the president and CEO, who's in charge of daily operations. We're architessans. And what does that mean to you? We walk alongside you, realizing the vision you have in mind. We source products locally and globally to fit your project design needs. We are skilled navigators of supply chain challenges, and we track your timeline and communicate every step of the way. So that's something that's very important in terms of, our people, both on the residential and commercial side, who work with you to source the products you need for your projects. Again, guided by Architessans. So we have three channels that make up Architessa: residential, commercial, and e-commerce. We have 8 showrooms on the East Coast: DC, Baltimore, Rockville, Vienna, and Alexandria. In addition to that, we're nationwide on the commercial side of things, with both outside and inside reps in the DC, Maryland area, Southeast, Atlanta, and Tampa, and then also California, Texas, for national hospitality. In addition to that, our last channel is e-commerce. So we do have a website that we're able to also hit markets that we might not have showrooms or any commercial footprint in. Again, as I mentioned before, our makeup is residential homes and dealers, multifamily, commercial, and hospitality as well. All right, so without further ado, let's get started with the design drop. So one thing that makes us unique here at Architessa and be in charge of product, so we launch new collections every other month. So think about that in terms of every other month, about, average 6 products, which makes up a lot of products throughout the year. So we are always updating our portfolio with new and fresh and exciting products. So we're going to take a look at the products that were just launched from our March and May design drop launches. It was a total of 13 collections, which comprise of 5 porcelain collections, 3 natural stones, 3 ceramic, and then 1 mixed zellige and terracotta collections. So that made up a combination of some different trending looks, from limestone to decos, planks, and 3D shapes. All right, so let's get started in some of the ceramics collections that we just launched. First, we have Whippy. Whippy is a ceramic wall collection that's made up of 8 different colors and 6 decos. It comes in both matte and glossy finish. The inspiration behind this collection was the factory wanted to introduce a collection that really was able to pair well with popular slabs, natural stone or porcelain slabs. So they brought in, the top selling slabs, from Calcutta to Taj Mahal to the Calcutta viola that you saw, and worked with, coming up with a color range that would match and complement these natural stones. And so, as you can see, it's a nice neutral palette that's made up from snow hill white to sky green and a little bit of bolder blues that make up Whitby. It's available in 3 different sizes. So we have a 2x10, a 2x6, a 4x4, and then a 4x4 deco. And it also comes with a matching trim piece as well. As mentioned before, we have both floral decos as well as the geometric decos. The floral decos come in 4 different colors. And as you can see, the idea behind the floral deco was definitely to mimic the look of wallpaper, to have this continuous kind of flow of the pattern, whereas the geometric deco, Poppy and Zoe, is definitely more symmetrical, and you're going to get those, actual, rigid patterns that you can create the fan or the motif, while the floral is, more of a continuous flow look. So this highlights as you can see, it's a specific finish. It's called granilla finish that is applied to the application of the towel that gives you this sheen, this glossy sheen that has a little bit of crystallization to it as well. So again, you're getting very nice dimension from the matte and the glossy surface of the deco. And then here are a few nice installation images showing the deco as a backsplash in a bar area. And then you have a bathroom installation as well as a backsplash with the 2x6. Next, we have Flow. So Flow is a ceramic mesh mount tile that's comprised of 6 different tiles. That's a mesh mosaic. It's available in 4 different colors. We have alabaster, mocha, burgundy, and cobalt. It's only available in the glossy finish. You have 3 different profiles that come on the mesh mount. So you have a flat surface, you have 2-dimensional pieces, so a plateau and a pinch. In each sheet, you get 3 flat pieces, 2 pinch, and then 1 plateau piece that are anchored randomly on the mesh mount mosaic. Again, you can kind of see the range of what you're able to do. It's nice that this is on a sheet because as you can see in the middle commercial installation, you're able to wrap around curves or columns nicely and create this very, very dynamic feature wall. But then you can also simplify in residential spaces with the install on the left with that really nice, bold, rich red and a bathroom, and then the soft white in a backsplash. But it gives you a lot of dimension for this product. Next up, we have pleats. So pleat is a ceramic tile that comes in 12 different colors. As you can see, it's a great range of colors from blues to white and neutrals to this beautiful toffee color and the old rose, which I wanted to point out because we're seeing trends still continuously with pinks, the introduction of pinks and design. So this nice, beautiful mauve color is definitely worth highlighting. This comes in glossy finish with an exception of 2 colors that do come in matte. So this is a fun new shape. So it's a 1x6. This narrow, elongated shape gives you a lot of ways to have fun and a lot of different things you can do as far as installation is concerned. It offers a lot of movement and it's, again, not your traditional subway tile. So there's a lot of play that can happen with this wall tile. It comes in the flat and it also comes in this deco as well. So kind of similar to that kind of pleat, that pinched dimensional that we saw in Flow is what you have here for the deco for pleat. Again, here are some installation images. They did, I think, a really good job, the factory, at creating this color palette. So you do have some bolder colors that can stand alone. And the idea of both the flat and the deco, you can see, the possibilities of, the vertical bond of, running some of the deco pieces to add a pop or randomly mixing it like the middle installation. In addition to some of those bolder color palettes, they also try to be intentional with the color selection so that you can pair colors together. So the shower installation to the left shows that old rose mix with, one of the neutral colors. Okay, now we're going to get into some terracotta, limestone, and marbles. This collection, Portico, was launched at Coverings, not this past year, but last year. So for those of you who don't know, Coverings is the big floor surface trade show where all of the vendors showcase, their new collections, and this was definitely a standout. So it's a terracotta line that comes in three different colorways. So the vintage white, which is a crackle matte, and then we have the terracotta, which is just the natural, terracotta finish. And then we have a poured bronze, which is a rich, moody, reflective, metallic crackle finish as well. This collection comes in a number of different sizes. So we have a 6x6, a 3x6. We have a circle insert and a circle field. So you can see the insert in the field. Then we have an arc field and insert and an A and B. So just the reverse of that. And then also comes in a bullnose as well. The beauty of this collection is the endless amount of patterns and fun that you can have with just three different colors and then the handful of different sizes. The possibilities are truly endless of what you can do. And it can be something as, simple as maybe just using one color with the pattern. If you want something, not as bold, or mixing two colors, or if you want to really, be adventurous and with your design, you can mix all three colors. Something else that I would like to highlight is we have this great resource here for you on our website, on the product page of this collection. So it's a brochure that highlights all of the different patterns that you can design. So again, I know sometimes as, designers, it might be overwhelming. So we definitely wanted to give you some inspiration behind the different patterns you can create. And we also break it down with the number of pieces you need to create these patterns. So that's just a resource that I wanted to point out for you guys. So this is Portico. Again, as you can see, the pattern on the left is, definitely more kind of geometric with the squares and the circle, while the other patterns are more curvaceous. But again, you can, create so many different patterns with just the handful of pieces. Something else that I wanted to point out about this collection is that it is handmade. So again, back to that, the authenticity of the product is made from Sicilian clay, red clay. And so I love the story behind the old world feel, but then the juxtaposition of that with these really modern and bold shapes. Next, we have Dra. I'm sure everybody knows this kind of, movement to, again, the word being authentic and wanting natural material from Zalege and limestones. This collection does a beautiful job at kind of blending and mixing them all. So it's comprised of limestone, Zalege, and terracotta in one collection. So this just gives you a range of everything that is available for this collection. And why that's great is it allows you to really not have to, kind of leave the collection to create a space, right? So you have these solid grounding tiles in a 3x10, a 4x10 picket, or a 4x4 with some of the limestones. So, maybe that's grounding the space on the floor, but then you're able to move up on the wall with your Zalege and your terracotta. And then what makes this collection even more outstanding is the mosaics that are available. So to the left, you can see that there are a handful of different patterns that are available in quite a few color ranges. So again, if that's, a niche, if that's a black backsplash, if that's just, a small nod to really, set the space off, you're able to create everything with this one collection. Something else I would like to point out is that the mosaics are it's a mix of the different materials. So in one mosaic, you're going to have Zalige, terracotta, and natural stone. So you're getting a lot of depth and dimension by the variation of the texture. Next, we have Rue. So Rue is a tumbled limestone collection. These are limestones that come from both Morocco as well as French limestone. So just a little kind of background in terms of, so Moroccan limestone tends to be a little chalkier, a little fossilized in detail, offering more organic and tonal variation, while French limestone is a little more classic and subtle and tonal. So it's nice that this collection offers a little bit of both and a nice grounding neutral palette with a couple of cream beige colors. And then we have some softer grays and then a deep noir. Again, available in a handful of sizes. You have a 16 by 24, an 8 by 8, a 4 by 4. The great thing about, this collection, a lot of pattern can happen on the floor. So you can have maybe your 16 by 24 on the perimeter, and then you have an inlay of your 8 by 8, and maybe you have your 4 by 4s, running on the border, and then your 3 by 12s on the wall. I think we're seeing a lot more of collections, having a lot of range in terms of the different sizes that are available. So you can, create floor wall pattern. That seems to be a popular trend in terms of different patterns that you can create. And I would say limestone as a material has also been a trend and something we're seeing a lot of in the industry. Here's a couple of installation images. So we can see some commercial images to the left, and then a nice residential image showing the 3 by 12 as a backsplash. Next, we have Gable. So for those of you who are not aware, we have one of our warehouse in Baltimore is about 44,000 square feet. We also stock some of our towel collections. So we bring those in directly from, the quarry or, the manufacturer, and we stock them. So what does that mean? That means that we are able to get the product out swiftly, 1 to 2 days, and be able to control the inventory and have that readily available for you. So this is one of our newest stone collections that we're stocking. It's quarried in Vietnam. It's a 10 by 10 tumbled marble that comes in 3 different colors: vintage white, platinum, and lightning black. I just wanted to highlight here a trend alert. We're continuing to see just, the trend of checkerboard. So that's something great about this collection. And it's also nice to see a different size as far as the checkerboard is concerned. Maybe not your traditional larger 12 by 12s or even a smaller 8 by 8, but this kind of nice in between 10 by 10. And I love the 2 images on the left and the middle that show an installation on a shower wall for the 10 by 10s, which I thought was very unique in a different way at treating, the treatment of a wall space. So again, just the idea of stone drenching also. So going from floor to wall, I've even seen to ceiling with that material. and then using a 10 by 10 checkerboard in a different way in the showers. Now we're going to head to a few porcelain collections. So this is real, it's a simple collection. So it's a 2 by 8 glazed porcelain that comes in 7 different colors. So think modern brick. So this is kind of a reinterpretation of your standard brick look, but in a modern way. It also uses that same technology that I mentioned before with Whitby, the granilla or the grit, which is an idea of, a process of glue that's applied during the inkjet technology, what gives you that dimension and the different feel and texture of the surface. So you can kind of see maybe with the white right here, there's going to be some spots that are, that matte grit feel and then high gloss. So it gives you a lot of different dimension when installed. So again, as I mentioned, 7 colors, one being standout brown. We're definitely, continuing to see between browns and merlots, those deep color ways for wall tile. And I think that goes to, people maybe being a little more daring with all of these dramatic dark stones and marbles. So now there's actually, some wall tile on the darker side to pair with that. So just a couple of install images, great to stripe in the middle, a shower install. You have your brick offset and then a vertical stack. Real. Next, we have Dwell. Dwell is a glazed porcelain that comes in a 2 by 6. That's something also that we're seeing more of. 2 by 6 has been a trending size. So this comes in 4 different colors. So the toast, the blueberry, the oyster, and the fennel. And then it's also available, as you can see, in the 2 different patterns. So it's going to be the slit and then the stack as well. So the 2 colors, the toast and the blueberry, offer the matte body with the glossy, insert on top. And then it's going to be the reverse for the oyster and the slit. It's going to be the glossy white body, and then you're going to have a matte finish on top with those colors. So as you can kind of see here, just that kind of high gloss that's on top of the matte body. And again, some installation pictures. So the idea of graphic minimalism, simple forms, a lot of different patterns that you can create. So there's a lot of visual interest with this small 2 by 6 tile. Next, we have Plankwell. So Plankwell is a 3 by 24 matte glazed color body porcelain. Planks are, again, another size that's becoming more popular. So the idea of, expanding wood planks and going into more of a, colorful kind of like concrete look. So it definitely gives you a lot more flexibility and different things you can do where with a color blank as opposed to the wood. So this is Plankwell. It comes in 9 different colors. The matte finish keeps it feeling calm and soft and grounded. Again, the idea behind this 3 by 24 is just the different patterns that you're able to create in both commercial and residential spaces. I love the idea of the herringbone on the floor. You can do staggered stripes, standard stack, offset. That shower install that has the 2 colors striped, offset, I think is very dynamic as well. So again, having fun on the floor and the wall with different pattern play for this one collection. And again, here, a couple installations Next, we have Maison Oak. So this is another collection that we are stocking in our Baltimore warehouse. This is a 24 by 24 parquet porcelain wood look tile that's offered in two colorways. We have the Royal Oak and then we have the Cohiba Brown. And lastly, we're going to talk about two mosaic collections. First, we have Nexo. So Nexo is a good example how a towel line can be technically simple, but strategically flexible. And why this collection works so well in both commercial and residential specifications is it's, simple four colors that comes in three different formats. So you have the 2x2 standard squares, white, tender gray, taupe, and black. You have a 1x6 stacked, and then you have your penny round as well. So that idea again of this collection, we saw a lot of fun and dynamic collection, but sometimes there needs to be, quietness visually, and this might not be a collection that is that's just supporting other material, and you need those staples. And lastly, we have low tide. So low tide is a natural stone mesh mount pebble collection. I really love this collection when we decided to bring it on board because, at one point in time, pebbles was very popular, right? We're thinking residential on floors, and there really hasn't been much of an update or refresh of how you can reimagine the pebbles until this collection. So it's available in four different patterns. You have flow, the node, the access, and the blend. And then that comes in four different colorways. So horizon, river, jade, and galaxy. Something else to point out about this collection. So the three different mosaics on the mesh also are different sizes. So I don't know the exact size. I know for a fact the blend is your standard, just your 12 by 12, your typical random tumbled 12 by 12 mosaic. But the flow, for instance, that's larger, right? I think that's maybe 15 inches. So this idea of these large mesh mount pebble mosaics that you can really have fun with to create these different patterns. So think, if you're thinking of, on the commercial side, spa, wellness areas, even indoor pool. These can also be for exterior use, but, definitely keep in mind in terms of the freeze thaw. So we definitely don't want them to be installed in an area where there is, freezing that's happened. And if so, it needs to be in a covered setting. But there's a lot of different possibility if you wanted to be more simplistic with the blends, or if you wanted to have fun with the different shapes. So this is a good example of how just the one, I think this is the node, the one pattern, depending on the installation, it can definitely give you a completely different look. And then we have some installations here. So I believe the middle one is the access, which gives you more vertical stripes. to the right, I think that's just the flow, which is your classic 12 by 12 mesh mount. And then you can see how dynamic the one on the left is. So I think between both residential and commercial projects, even if you wanted, you know, the flow on the floor of a shower, but then you wanted something that's, you know, a shape that's maybe on the wall or the niche, you're able to stay within this collection, but do some pretty dynamic things. So that concludes the end of this design drop. Up on the screen here, I have a QR code, which I'd love, you know, if you guys aren't already signed up for our emails, please sign up. That's when we're able to definitely get in your inbox to tell you more about different events that we have in the showrooms, about upcoming design drops as well. In addition to that, my team will send everybody a thank you email that will follow up with the deck from the presentation, as well as, you know, information if you are unfamiliar or where your closest showroom might be located or who your commercial rep might be, then we definitely want to make sure you stay connected and we stay connected with you as well. So without further ado, I will definitely leave it open. I don't know if there were any questions or if anyone dropped any questions in our Q&A, but this concludes the design drop. So thank you very much. Are there any questions? Do you have any Q&A questions? Oh, maybe just the one from the very beginning. Okay. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it again. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll definitely be in contact and follow up. Thank you.